let me tell you a little bit about the Launch Challenge. In May 2017, 6 colleges and universities came together to announce our commitment to entrepreneurship here in Winston-Salem. All of us announced grant programs. Forsyth Tech's program is called the Launch Challenge. And the way that it works is for a 3-month period of time, there are a number of people that we work with. These people are committed to starting their businesses. So they demonstrate their commitment by attending educational events, 5 each month, and meeting with our business mentors, 3 each month. They also turn in a progress report each week to say, here are the things that I've done that contribute to me starting my business. It's a pretty serious program. If you know somebody who's interested in working really hard and starting their business, tell them that you've got some good news for them. And that is that the application period is open until the end of this year for the 4th session of the Launch Challenge. So I'm excited. We're here at the conclusion of the 3rd session of the Launch Challenge, and it's all about hearing what the finalists have to say, what they're working on, and what they're going to do next. So if you're excited, I want to hear something. So a couple things that we need to do before you hear from those finalists. Hopefully everybody grabbed a program on your way in. The first thing that I want to do, after just telling you about the purpose of the program, is to celebrate some wonderful people who've been in the program. So all of the graduates of the Launch Challenge happen to be on the 2nd row. I'm going to ask them to stand up and join me, like now. And all of you are going to applaud them. We're going to take a wonderful picture. You too? Come on. So I'm going to read the names of the people who completed this program, and those of them who are here, I'm going to give them a certificate. Those of you who have phones, y'all should start taking pictures now because we look really good. Don't we? So do me a favor and hold this for me because I'm good, but I'm not that good. So we want to celebrate Michael Banner, Cassandra Brunson, Jacqueline Clark, and if you're here, Joy Detling, Stephanie Draper, Chrissy Faison, Charmaine Green, Sharika McAllister, Holly McDonald, Connie McClendon, Carolyn Milliron, Raymond Mitchell, Christiana Owens, Ebony Phillips, Ashley Ramallo, Adrian Smith, Carol Smith, Patsy Squire, Kenya Thornton, Trinidad Vaughn, and Nikita Wallace. Let's give them a great hand of applause. Now, that picture, I do need you to send me a picture, so let's take a picture. Yeah, hold up your certificates with your names on them. No. Look like a choir. So my email address is ayounger@forsythtech.edu. Send me a picture. I should get a couple of emails, right? Thank you all very much for all of your hard work. Appreciate it. So I mentioned that the Launch Challenge is a result of an initiative that's across this entire city. We're very fortunate that there's an organization called the Winston-Salem Alliance who believes that entrepreneurship is important. And the Winston-Salem Alliance, 2 years ago, said we need to bring different organizations and people together to figure out how we can make this community wonderful for those who are looking to start or grow their businesses. So David Mounts is the chair of the Entrepreneurial Culture Committee that is doing some wonderful things, and he's going to tell you all about entrepreneurship from that perspective. Thank you very much for being here. So
Alan Younger is one of the all-time great guys, isn't he?
Yes.
Yeah.
Fantastic.
Alan, friend of my brother. We're committed to this, aren't we? This class seems a little bigger than before. Mike, is it?
It is.
Is it? Yeah, it feels like the third session here has stepped it up a notch, which is great. And it feels like that same momentum that you're having in the launch challenge, we're having in other areas of the community. You don't have to get out too much to notice right away that that's happening. Let's take a second step back, though. Just a quick primer on entrepreneurialism and what should be driving focus. And I'm a big believer that focus is super, super important for entrepreneurs, because if you don't focus, you will fail. You have got to have focus. And let's just go back to the single, what I call the single most important thing for every entrepreneur to focus on. And that is a very simple set of thoughts and steps. Number one, what problem am I solving? Number two, who needs me to solve that problem? And number three, who will joyfully give me their money to solve that problem? This is the beautiful thing about entrepreneurship. I found it magical that people would give me their money for something I was doing for them. And they would do it because the dollar they were giving me was worth $1.50 to them in what they were getting back from me, or $2 or even more. If it gets much, much more, you need to charge them more than $1, right? They were giving me, and that I was able to do that for them for something less than that dollar. So that in that exchange built on trust and the value we're exchanging with each other, that I would get $1 that would only cost me 50 cents or 75 cents, and they'd give me $1 because they got $1.50 or more out of that. That is the heart of what you do in entrepreneurism, is a thing you have to keep focused on all the time. And then when you find those customers that are joyfully giving you that $1, man, you got to take great care of them. You got to make sure you stay focused on them, and they give you more and more and more. And that's the heart of entrepreneurism. It's this relationship of trust, and it's made such a change in our world over the last 200 years that we've advanced more, humankind has advanced more through that trust and that value exchange than any other thing that's happened in history. And so you think about the impact of that, and then you think about, and Ray, I'm telling you, you're a little bit outnumbered up here on the stage. You know, we got, yeah, you know, a lot of women entrepreneurs, and by the way, women entrepreneurs can pull a community to tremendous heights. Even in places I've been around the world, some of you know I've traveled all over the world. I was in Vietnam at the normalization of relations, literally the day that it happened, to open up UPS in Vietnam. And guess what? When I went to meet with all the leaders in that community to start that up, they were almost all women. All the senior decision makers were women. And they were good business people. They were figuring out how to take their country and bring it up from the times where it had been down. Now they had to do that because they lost a generation of men. They really didn't have a choice. Thankfully, we're not in that situation. We have resources to pull in our community from all walks, but we will not succeed in our community with our entrepreneurial goals if our women and minority business leaders don't succeed. We will not reach our full potential. So I love the fact, Ray, I know you're outnumbered, gender-wise, in terms of the candidates I saw up here, but I just want you to know I think that's beautiful. I think it's absolutely beautiful. The more we can get that going, the better. we know that the world is changing. The big companies continue to look for efficiency. They're not creating as many jobs as they used to. All the job growth is coming from the entrepreneurs. And so having a vibrant community of entrepreneurs, a vibrant community of innovators, is what's going to allow us to take care of each other and look after each other. And we've been very motivated on that. We've created hundreds of new enterprises over the last couple of years. We've created an ecosystem that is really the envy of the state and becoming noticed worldwide. In fact, we just got recognized by NationsSwell as one of the top 5 emerging ecosystems with other cities like Denver, for example. You wouldn't normally think that you'd think about Denver and Winston being equal, but it's true when it comes to innovation, we're in the top 5 right along with them. And that's happening because we're coming at this like it's a team sport. We're helping each other. We've got an ecosystem that's aligned and amplified and organized. We're making sure that we don't duplicate our efforts. We're making sure that we're creating access for everybody that aspires to have an opportunity to pursue their dreams. And the fact that you entered this launch challenge and that you're doing what you're doing, I just want to tell you, is all part of that success and how proud we are of you. So thank you for having the courage to aspire, the courage to seek risk rather than to run away from it, the courage to kind of take it and realize that you needed to learn more things in order to prepare for this, and by putting the time and energy into it. And I wish you the greatest success in the challenge. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much, David. Isn't he a great guy?
Yes.
So I want to introduce a couple people to you. Now, she's not in here right now, but when you see Nell, and don't interrupt if somebody's presenting, but when you see her, I want you to thank her for all the wonderful work that she does. And she's not alone. If you see Stacy Davis, thank her. If you see Della Lawson, she's not going to be here today, but if you ever see her, thank her, because those 3 ladies make a lot of wonderful things happen for Foresight Tech and the Small Business Center. So let me just tell you a little bit about the Small Business Center if you're not already aware, and then we're going to jump right in. So we're all about helping people to start and grow businesses. If you're already in business, we've got something for you. If you're not yet in business, we've got something for you. So if you know somebody who needs support, tell them to look into the Small Business Center. We're available to help them. And if we're not, we're connected to a bunch of other organizations within our community that are designed to help people to be successful. Sound good? Yes. If you want to know more, visit our website. Let me tell you who's with me. A bunch of people are with me today. Not only the presenters, but we've got a bunch of people who are on the Small Business Center team in this front row that I want you to meet. So first, let me introduce you to Batasha Flournoy. Batasha was in the Launch Challenge last go around, and she was one of our finalists. Isn't that awesome? She started her business. And so we would love for you to know more about Hair Perfections, right? Her Perfections, let me get it right. Her Perfections, not from me. Her Perfections. Also Reginald McCaskill. So Reginald is one of our business mentors. He meets with people on any given, well, on Thursdays, right? On Thursdays. So you can, on any given day, you can go to our scheduling system and arrange a meeting with him. We're so glad to have him on our team. Balint Gaspar, another one of our mentors. He's Monday mornings though. Now when you go to our website, our scheduling system, you'll see not only when they're available, but how they can help you, okay? Definitely check that out. We're so happy to have them on our team. Antonio McCoy, Wednesday mornings, same thing. You can arrange a meeting to meet with Antonio and he will help you. Andrea Johnson, she wants to help you. She helps you on Friday mornings, right? Friday. And she said, look, she'll make, if you need help and she can help you, she'll find a way to help you. She'll make some additional time. Thank you. Ruben Gonzalez, he's been with on our mentoring team for a long time as well. Tuesday mornings, right? So you see where I'm going here? Almost any given day, we want to help you. Anita Quarles, remind me which day? Tuesdays as well. All right, she wants to help you. We're so glad that you're on our team. Dick Van, Thursday mornings, right? Now, we're going to give him a special note that he is our senior mentor. Has nothing to do with age. It's because he's been on our team 8 years? 9 years. See, I can't even count that high. Isn't that awesome? Thank you so much. Ron Knowles, just like Natasha, he was in the Launch Challenge last go round. He was one of the finalists. He was up here presenting, so we're happy to have him here. Thank you, Ron. Joy Dye, she's one of our, she'll let you know that she's our second newest business mentor. And she was so thrilled when I told you, we've already got you booked. So, now what days are you here?
Thursdays.
Thursdays. Thursdays are pretty popular. The gym says Mondays are the best, right?
Yes, sir.
Monday afternoons. Huh?
Night shift.
The night shift, yeah. Everybody else leaves and we leave the keys with Jim. So he's definitely trying to support. So another thing that we do, not just during the day, but if there are people who need some support after hours, we're often able to accommodate that. Thank you, Jim. So Margaret Morris was also in the Launch Challenge last go round. We're so happy to have her here. She was standing up here presenting. She started her business too, and Ron did as well. So I'm so excited about that. So Janae, just like Dick holds a distinction, Janae's distinction is she's the client of the Small Business Center who's been working with us for the longest period of time. And guess how she figures it out? I say, how old is your son? And that's how long she's been working with us. Because she was pregnant, and he's what, 10 or 11? He's 11 years old. And so we have given her a promotion. In addition to being our client, she's one of our ambassadors. So she lets people know how much we have and continue to support her business. True? So you're wondering who this is. She's been standing over here wearing this nice suit. She's wants you to see her nice suit, right? So this is Angela Wilder. She's also one of our ambassadors. And today, the role that she's playing is MC. So I'm about to step aside and let her lead the presentations. Before I do though, I want to acknowledge a couple people who weren't here just a minute ago. However, we want to celebrate them as graduates as well. You heard me call the name Michael Banner, right? Stand up, Michael. Matter of fact, we do have a seat reserved for you on the second row if you'd like to join the rest of the emerging enterprisers. Same with Cassandra Brunson. We called your name. We're so glad to have both of you. We'll have to take another picture with everybody in. Got a seat for you too. All right? She's trying to hide. Okay, so we're not going to call her out anymore. And I see a couple of our business mentors here as well. I see Terry Rhodes and Bob Lassiter. They also spend time meeting with our clients on a regular basis because we want them to be successful. So with that, you heard enough from me, right? Let me say it again. You heard enough from me, right? Yes. Okay. And then I also see Marvia. I didn't see you. She's one of our business mentors as well. Let me hand the mic over to Ms. Wilder.
Thank you.
Hello, everybody. Hello. Okay, so I'm not the quiet, shy, calm one, and I have no great words of wisdom except to say that to be an entrepreneur, and I think all of the contestants have demonstrated this and will continue to demonstrate this as they develop their businesses. I always talk about the 4 G's, and that's grit, grind, grace, and gratitude. And I'm sure each one of you have those elements already and will continue to have them as you continue this journey. So I want you to look to somebody, I don't care, next to you, around here, and I want you to ask, are you ready for some great presentations? All right. We have 6 finalists that you're going to hear presentations from. Each one will have 5 minutes to give their presentation, and that'll be followed by a 5-minute question and answer period. If you go over it, I will be forced to stop you with So we want to adhere to the time limit because we also know you have other things to do with your time today. So when I say business, you say launch. Business! Launch! Business! Launch! When I say business, you say challenge. Business! Challenge! Business! Challenge! All right. Now, make sure your tray tables are up and locked. We are getting ready to take off with our very first contestant, Christy Faison.
So you know that feeling after you just had a delicious meal, that you just sit back in your chair and daydream about that awesome meal you just had? Well, that is what Lean Back Soul Food is here to do. We are here to give you a soul-satisfying, amazing, we are here to give you a soul-satisfying meal that will just make you lean back in your chair and smile. Hi, my name is Chrissy Faison, owner of Lean Back Soul Food. Currently, you can experience our services through our meal prep and catering services. But now we want to put Lean Back on the road. Now, I hope you're not saying, another food truck? What do we need another soul food truck for? Well, Lean Back Soul Food Truck is just not your average food truck. But I'll tell you about that more later. First, let's talk about our target market. When we think about our average consumer, we are looking at the top age range of ages 25 to 34. After that, ages 25 and younger, and then following that, ages 35 to 44. Now, if you're in any of those age ranges, think about how busy you are. Think about if you have time to prepare yourself a nice home-cooked meal. You lack time to do that. Also, when you do have time to sit down at a soul food restaurant, they're pretty much the same. It lacks a variety. And also, you're concerned about where your food comes from. Example, romaine lettuce is trying to take us out. Lean Back Soul Food can proudly say that our ingredients come from local and organic markets whenever possible. So let me tell you another awesome thing about Lean Back Soul Food. We will feature our awesome soul rolls. Chrissy, well, what's a soul roll? It's up here for you to see. But a soul roll is basically a non-traditional egg roll. In this egg roll, we'll stuff it with different ingredients like steak and cheese, chicken and cheese, cheeseburger. We've got a couple vegetarian ones. We even have a chicken and waffle soul roll with a nice buttery maple sauce. Doesn't that sound good? So, I am claiming success for Lean Back Soul Food. Let's look at our total revenue for 2019. We expect to make $144,000. In 2020, we expect to make $159,000. And by 2021, we expect to have a total revenue of $175,000. Now to do that, we will need to sell $62 an hour, and that is definitely doable. Now, by sticking to those numbers, we will have a total profit of $20,473 in 2019. In 2020, $23,402, and in 2021, we will have a total profit of $24,407. That means we will have broken even in year 2. That's awesome. Now, I didn't get here on my own. I first came in contact with the Small Business Center. It was basically an accident. But before getting involved with them, I relied heavily on family and friends to tell me what they thought about the things I was doing. I would ask my husband, hey, what do you think about this website? That's good. Or, do you like this business card? Yes, that's great. But by getting involved with the Small Business Center, I was able to experience mentors who are experts in their various fields. Now, how much am I asking for? Seeking. I am seeking $30,000. With that $30,000, I will use it to buy either a used food truck or a new trailer. It will also assist with equipment and truck wrap. Now, I currently am a full-time worker, but I plan to open the food truck in March of 2019. In the meantime, I will use that time to stay involved with the Small Business Center and also take advantage of the networking events that they have. I will also have time to I will also have time to put that.
Just the mentors, right, are asking questions? and-
Correct.
Yeah, okay. I just have one question. Could you bring us some samples?
See,
You got me drooling all over.
I wanted to do that, but I didn't want to.
As a matter of fact, Ms. Wilder and everyone else, next Monday from 3 to 5, we are having a celebration of food entrepreneurs that have come through the Launch Challenge. So join us at 525 at Vine that way, and the soul rolls will be available.
They will.
So now our mentors have some questions.
Are you currently selling your food now in business?
Yes, I actually am. I'm also right now have a catering service. I have new services I'm pushing out also, which would be a sip and saute, which is basically a gathering you can have with your friends. You guys are going to sit and cook together. You guys will do all the work. Also, meal prep and cooking classes.
And do you have a kitchen?
Yes. Oh, well, I will be working out of the Enterprise Center.
And with your projections, is that the profits, have you paid yourself before those profits come out?
Yes.
Okay.
Okay.
Chrissy, you're entering a pretty saturated market.
Yes.
So what's the key to success for a food truck?
Hard work and perseverance and consistency. And good food, right?
Locations?
So I actually have developed relationships with building owners all over the Triad and especially Forsyth County, where they either don't have a cafeteria or the cafeteria is closed. So I'll be able to park my truck there and give those wonderful people some soul rolls.
My question is, what's different about your food compared to the next caterer?
Because everybody's food does not make you lean back.
Either based on your current experience selling food, or based on your experience working with a small business center, what would you say your biggest weaknesses in terms as an entrepreneur, and how are you planning to address it?
My business weakness was actually thinking that I can do everything myself. I can't, and I've learned that there's nothing wrong with asking for help, especially when it's not your expertise. So I think that would have been my business weakness, but now I'm here seeking some money, so.
So what are those weaknesses? Do you know at least one?
Well, besides thinking that I can do everything myself.
Yeah, what was the one thing that you knew, basically, when you determined you couldn't do everything? What was the one thing that you knew you probably better let somebody else do?
Marketing, example, like websites or putting together business cards or flyers. I would sit at my computer and I literally do everything myself. But if I gave it to an expert, that what is the opportunity cost of me concentrating on my food and then just paying somebody else to do it, and it would be maybe more excellent.
So I didn't see that when you allocated how you were going to spend the $30,000. I saw a carve out. Okay. So will you consider using that to some of the money should you win to address?
I could, but the reason I didn't include that is because I do work full time, so I can allocate some of those funds to pay for little small things like that.
Any other questions?
So, Chrissy, how are you planning on marketing your business, and have you thought about any IT solutions, like ordering online or through certain apps for the business?
So, social media, definitely. I take advantage of Facebook, Instagram ads all the time. I'm also going to work with one of my fellow emerging enterprises, and he's going to put together rack cards That way I'll have something to give interested consumers. And basically what that would do is have pictures and then we'll also have my different services, kind of like a business card, but bigger. I haven't really thought about anything else. As a small business owner, I'll probably just use the free services like social media and word of mouth.
You're asking for 30,000. Let's say you don't get it. How would you get the others to make up for the 30,000?
Well, that's when I'll continue to, well, I told you that I would like to start in March of 2019. Whether or not I have the food truck or not, but that's because I'm doing hard in my other services, my catering services, and it's some pretty good money in catering. So I'll be able to raise that money and then get my food truck.
Thank you very much.
Okay, we're cruising now. We're at a cruising altitude. Don't lean back too much because we have coming to the mic Holly McDonald. Okay.
Hi, can you hear me? My name is Holly McDonald, and I'm a physical therapist. My business is Relief Physical Therapy, and I rehabilitate people with pelvic floor problems. Those are the embarrassing problems that nobody wants to talk about. The problems, down there. I'm talking about problems with pee, problems with poop, problems with pain, problems with sex. Those things are isolating and embarrassing, and people don't know what to do about it. Does it work? Yeah. In a survey of women 30 to 60, over 46% reported that they had some problem with urinary leakage, and over half of those women had not discussed it with their doctors. They don't know what to do. So they buy into the $19 billion incontinence industry, and they buy pads. They stash an extra pair of clothes in their car. They stop jumping around with their kids. They stop exercising because they're afraid they're going to have an accident. They try not to laugh. Now, pelvic floor therapists are not common. There's only 3 places in town where you can get this type of service. You can go to Comp Rehab and get some treatment from one of the 2 therapists there that have a little bit of training. Or you can go to the Novant Pelvic Health Clinic and see their doctors and run through their battery of tests and see if you can get a referral to their pelvic floor therapists. Or, as of October 31st of this year, you can just pick up the phone and call me. We can talk on the phone, or you can come in for a free 20-minute consult. My office is private and discreet. I am not like a traditional physical therapy clinic. I'm not a gym, but I do have effective treatments for pelvic floor problems. Problems like pain during pregnancy, bedwetting, problems after prostate surgery. See, everybody has a pelvic floor. And while that's true, right now in my marketing strategy, I'm targeting women aged 30 to 60 because they are at the highest risk for pelvic floor problems. Next in my business, I need to obtain some additional equipment. I need a biofeedback system. That system helps me monitor muscle activity so that I can help them retrain and build body awareness with my patients. I need an electric stimulation system which helps, again, with motor retraining, but also pain management. I need to do some research about patient management software. There's a lot to choose from, and I've got to find the best fit for my business as it grows. And I need to develop more content for my marketing channels. I need to use Facebook, YouTube, my website, and live presentations just like this one to help get the word out, because I need to reach my patients directly. A big thanks to the Small Business Center for helping me coalesce that. It's been such a great thing to learn about branding, about developing a marketing strategy, about how to look at my projections and see them as markers for whether or not my business is on track for the future. I launched on October 31st of this year, and at that time I had invested $5,834 into my business. I've worked really hard to keep my monthly expenses low, and because of that, I anticipate a profit of $5,000 at the end of the first year. You'll see even though my revenue increases, the profits stay low for the next couple of years. That's for equipment needs, and by year 3, I'll be taking on additional staff, which means I'll have additional labor costs. My immediate needs are for a biofeedback system that I told you about before, electric stimulation. Right now I'm a sole proprietorship, so I need to switch that to an LLC. I need QuickBooks and 12 months worth of patient management service, and I need an additional budget for marketing and advertising. $17,100 would really help me progress my business over the next year. My name is Holly McDonald, and I'm a physical therapist with Relief Physical Therapy. With your help, I can continue to provide excellent care for my patients and really change their lives. Thank you very much.
So in developing this business, have you done a SWOT analysis?
Have I done a
SWOT analysis to determine your competitors out there as it relates to physical therapy?
Yes, I have there are 3 places in town where you can get pelvic floor therapy. It's either at Comp Rehab, at the Novant Pelvic Health Clinic, or my clinic is the only one that's independent of the 2 business structures, medical structures in town. Hi.
So, do people pay for your services like out of pocket or with insurance? Like, how are you getting paid?
Right, so I do not have staff that would bill insurance, but I am a legitimate physical therapy claim, so I can provide a receipt that people can present to their insurance companies in order to get reimbursement, but my business is cash-based.
How much competition or joint work do you expect from groups like urologists and others that are in the traditional medical field?
Actually, I work really well in conjunction with urologists. I'll work with a person's urologist. There are a few that refer. In fact, the 2 therapists over at Comp Rehab works only with 2 urologists through Baptist, but there are lots of urologists that don't know that this particular service is available here in Winston-Salem. They don't know yet.
What are your qualifications and certifications?
I am certified. I'm a physical therapist. I've been a physical therapist for 10 years. I began getting additional training through Herman & Wallace, which is the gold standard for pelvic floor rehabilitation, 3 years ago, and I've been treating patients for the last 3 years at an independent clinic that was in Greensboro.
How have your patients found you so far?
That's a good question. It's about equal between Facebook, live presentations, and my website.
Can you tell us one particular success story?
I have a patient that came to me and said, I'm having terrible SI problems, which is a low back pain problem, and I can barely move, and it was after a Pilates class that she took, and she could barely walk into my office and said, oh, and by the way, in a week and a half, I'm leaving for China. Can you fix me? Now that's kind of a high demand. And I wasn't sure that I could actually I couldn't completely fix her, but I was able to give her really good strategies she could use while she was traveling, and we got her pain down probably about 60%. So she came to me after she came back, and we finished everything.
In terms of your ability to grow and staff up, the types of certification and training that your employees would need, are you able to train them, or is there a steady source where you can hire them from? It sounds like it's a specialty that not very many people focus on.
It is a specialty, and it is going to be a little bit challenging to get staffing. My strategy is actually to develop better relationships with High Point University and Winston-Salem State University that both have pelvic floor, not pelvic floor, but PT programs, so that I can perhaps call some internships. That way I can find some staff that really feels like it's a good fit for me. And then one additional course would allow them to get started with my mentorship. So we'd be able to get them started pretty quickly.
So you outlined some places where you probably couldn't get relief from, like the gym and whatnot. And I'm looking at your website and I'm seeing, you lead some of the things you had. Do you avoid intimacy with your partner? Who else is having these conversations with your potential client?
Almost no one. Doctors are occasionally, there is a little bit more increase in screening for urinary incontinence from primary care physicians, but it's something that primary care physicians need education about. And that is actually part of what I'm planning to do to scale my business. As I develop more staff in my business that I'm confident can provide good patient care, my role will be to step back and start doing more presentation and educational components. My 5-year plan is to become accredited in to provide continuing education for medical professionals.
And as you continue to move forward, as you've already been speaking about that, what challenges do you see in your 5-year plan, or anything as it relates to marketing, or just moving forward? What challenges and how do you plan to overcome those?
I think marketing is a big challenge for me because I do really feel like social media is a great avenue for the client that I'm looking for, and it's just not intuitive to me. I need a lot of guidance. The funding that I was asking for marketing, is a lot of it is for consulting, because I just need people to guide me through. I can develop the content, but then exactly how to use it.
So back here, are you aware of the emerging LED therapies? And have you considered those in your business model and some of the advantages that you might be able to get from them as they continue to advance, and also as home use becomes another way for this problem to be addressed?
I'm only aware of a little bit of literature of the LED service, and I wasn't aware until I spoke with you personally about the fact that there was a possibility for home use. So it's something that I still need to learn more about.
I can put you in contact with somebody that's on the front of that.
Great.
Why just women? Don't men have those problems too?
Absolutely, and I will be targeting men in the future, but they said we really need to kind of focus on our targeting goals. It's rather the sniper idea rather than the shotgun idea of how to target your business or market for your business.
Thank you very much, Holly.
Our next challenger is Jacqueline Clark.
Good afternoon, everybody.
Good afternoon.
My name is Jacqueline Arrington Clark, owner, innovator of the Divine Locator. I want to tell you a little bit about the vision. My vision began when a family member recently died this year of dementia. At the time, I was in a dark place in my life, and all my thoughts were on me. I then started to notice how many people were wandering away from their homes and facilities. And this is how the vision began. I was given a bigger cause than my problems. I dreamed of what would be our first product, a tracking device made especially for Alzheimer's dementia patients with a projected start date of November the 1st, 2019. Today, there are 5.7 million individuals living with this horrible disease. And by 2050, there will be 14 million of us living with it. Can you imagine that? While there are many symptoms to the disease, wandering away and becoming lost is the most common occurrence. This can happen during any stage of the disease. Wandering is a life-threatening event, and it can be a horrible situation for the patient and the caregiver. The Divine Locator is designed to give the caregiver peace of mind, allowing them to ensure that if their loved ones were to become lost, they will be easily located and quickly. The Divine Locator will save lives, and it's a network assisted GPS bracelet. Now, once the patient goes outside of the designated zone, an alert will be sent from the bracelet to the caregiver's smart device or computer. The difference between the Divine Locator and any other GPS out there on the system today is that the locator will track, alert, locate, and identify. So, all the other ones on the product today, they're mostly watches, buttons, attachments, and just alerts that just tell you about the disease. When I first envisioned this concept, I never imagined that it could be a reality. But without the Small Business Center, my idea would have just been another great idea, with no knowledge or opportunity to envision the concept. I've received far more than just free services. I've received a renewed capability and confidence in myself. I feel like I've been given a 4-year education in like 3 months, in long 3 months. And the resources and networking has afforded me to be able to move to the next step. And for that, I will be ever grateful to the Small Business Center. Now, as you can see, our financials. Year 1 through 2 is going to be for the production of the product and a working prototype. Year 3 through 5, we should start to produce revenues. We will produce revenues from the product as well as a monthly monitoring fee. Now, as you can see, we anticipate selling 250 devices and scaling to 1,000 devices in year 5, for an overall total revenue of $329,000 and expenses of $245,000. If awarded funds from the Small Business Center, I will use those to assist in the production of the prototype. Now that the launch challenge has come to an end, I will keep working with the Small Business Center as I am still in the launch challenge, and I will be working with the Small Business Technology Development Center here in Winston-Salem, as well as I will be working with the North Carolina Riot Lab in Raleigh to develop my product. And I've also joined the ARRIS certification program where I have access to additional funding. And this is my team, and I'm excited about this. These are the people that's bringing the vision, helping me bring the vision to you all. So, I have one question for you. Will you join us? Will you help us bring this much needed device to a much deserving population, our Alzheimer and dementia loved ones? So, thank you. I appreciate the opportunity. And again, my name is Jacqueline Arrington Clark, innovator of the Divine Locator. Don't forget that name because you're here to get it. Yes.
So you mentioned the cost of the production of the prototype. Did I miss that, or did you mention that? That's the amount of money you're looking for?
Well, the amount of money that it's going to be like $123,000 for the first 2 years to produce the product. So I am presently involved in the North Carolina Riot program, which will assist me in making this product. So I'm going to have to go out and seek additional funding. So this funding, I have lots of different components. There's a component with the hardware, and then there's a component with the software. Right now, the software could be between $25,000 and $50,000. So the initial funds will be used for the software and the hardware.
And how much is what you're asking for today?
For today, I need $123,000. I would love to get that if anyone like that. That's what I would need, $123,000. So this will be a stepping stone to keep on. Any other questions? Yes.
You know, the location is one element of this. I can remember this problem because my grandmother had Alzheimer's, and she took off on a 13-mile expedition on a 100-degree day and terrified us all.
Yes.
But as I think about your business, you're really monitoring these. Have you thought about other things besides location you could monitor that could be producing data that might be of value in the care of these patients over and above location? For example, you know, the biometric data that could be being captured at the same time. And who might be interested in that data? and the value of revenue that could be derived from those types of things to offset some of the costs to the users?
Absolutely. Now, what I plan on doing is looking into making my device a medical necessity device, that it will, you know, go to different levels of the disease. Also, my secondary audience is autism with that. But I do plan on being in conjunction with like ALZ organization, the Safe Return Program, different programs to bring awareness to this disease. And also, as I work with software developers, I'm flexible in ideas of coming up with different ways to make it an even higher GPS system.
So Jackie, in your revenue model, what is sales, can you just paint a picture of the sales of the hardware devices versus, are you going to charge a monthly subscription?
I am. Right now, what we project to see, the price point that we have chosen is $19.95 or less for the device, and $10 monthly monitoring fee, so it can be affordable monitoring fee, because what we'll be doing is just monitoring and keeping the software up for the monitoring fee. As far as the sales are concerned, I would like to have consultants that go out and they basically sell to the physicians, to memory care facilities, etc. So I plan on working in conjunction with them.
Just to clarify, you said $19.95 for the hardware?
Mm-hmm. $19.95. Well, I've done market research, and the hardware can go from free to $99. That's what I've come with that. And then it's with the monthly monitoring fee. And normally that can run from, I found with my research, from $39.95 on up. The highest one that I saw was $80 a month for the monthly monitoring fee. I just can't imagine. I don't know what they're doing for that, so I'm trying to get it down to an economical monthly monitoring fee. Because we're just trying to keep our loved ones safe. That's the ultimate goal, not to, you know, break the bank of anybody to make it. Just to keep them safe. That's my goal.
Okay, so you said you're going to charge $19.95, right?
Correct.
So how much is it going to take to make that one? Like,
to make the bracelet. Now, that's what I'm into now. Since we're a startup company and I haven't started yet, and we're still getting manufacturers, and by being in the Small Business Technology Development Center, that's what I'm doing next, because I'm actually applied to 3 different programs. So with that, that should produce and let me know how much it actually is. These are projections based on, we're a new company and a startup, and actually this product has not been produced. And so I can't use like a modified bracelet or something like that and make it mine. It's got to be from ground up.
and how are you going to market?
How I'm going to market to? Well, I plan on marketing it to the caregivers, because those are the ones that's going to be making the decision for the patient. The patient is not going to be making the decision. I plan on marketing it to physician offices, as well as memory care facilities, social networking, as well as magazines that dedicate to senior services. And a place for mom, because I've talked to him. It's wild.
Thank you very much. Okay, I thought of another G word that applies to these finalists, and that is great. These have been some great presentations, and I can see that so much work has gone into them. So we're about halfway through our flight. Please keep your seatbelt fastened in case we encounter some unexpected turbulence. And now our next presenter is Ray Mitchell.
Good afternoon, everyone. My name is, as Angela said, is Ray Mitchell, and my business is Made For You Video. Made For You Video helps businesses engage and reach potential customers. Why Made For You Video? Up until now, video has really been the purview of large corporations. Small businesses and entrepreneurs really have not had the opportunity to have and use video as a part of their business. I will produce high-quality professional video targeted to the solopreneur and the small business in order to help them reach customers in order to be more successful. there's a reason why small businesses want to use video. Video is in high demand, and consumers are looking for video for information. They use video in the pre-purchase stages. They use video when they're actually making the purchase decision and actually rely on it for support after the fact. Business owners see that and they recognize the value of video in their enterprises. By adding a video to your website is 144% more likely to actually close a sale. When C-suite executives look at video or look at a website, if there's text and video covering the same information, 59% of them will opt actually to watch the video rather than actually read the text on the page. Once they watch the video, 65% of them actually go to the vendor's website to capture more information. So there is a need and a desire on the business owner's part to actually have video because it is like a fly trap to potential customers. It's projected by 2021 that 80% of all internet traffic will actually be video. So it's a big open market. So I've actually launched a soft launch as of November of this year and completed the first live video on November 11th. From an offerings perspective, I have 3 distinct offerings for the consumer, for my consumers. A 15 to 30 second promotional video. The next video is a longer, medium-length video between 1 minute and 3 minutes that is targeted to consultants, coaches, people who rely on their expertise as a selling point. These videos will allow them to actually demonstrate their ability to solve a client's needs. And then the third video will be a longer form live video, which will enable a business to tell its story. So a key advantage that I have is actually low overhead in this process, which enables me to meet the needs of small businesses and offer lower prices. This business has no inventory, there's no spoilage, there's nothing on the shelf that goes stale, nothing goes out of style. I only have expenses actually when I'm engaged for a job. So that allows me a couple of advantages. Revenue projections, in the first year I'm projecting $54,250. In year 3, that moves to $65,636. I've taken pretty conservative estimates in terms of sales, assuming 10% year-over-year sales growth. So I think that's a very attainable number. And with that modest sales growth, I'm able to achieve gross margins of 64% and net margins of 14%, showing a good level of profitability. With the low overhead and the good margins, I actually can break even in this business in 3 months. Small Business Center has been a great help through the rigor of the process. It's made me plan a lot better. My normal process would be take a business idea, throw it up on the wall, see what sticks. This has slowed me down and actually made me make more defined choices in how I'm doing the business. The mentors have been great. They've given a lot of time with good insight. Look at my lead mentor, Jim, and thank him a lot for his contribution. I know my hourly rate. I can imagine their hourly rates, and this is a great value. And the community that I've been involved with. Community I've been involved with, my emerging enterprises, and thank them a lot. What's next? Start launching the marketing full force, extend my product offerings. I'm requesting $13,200 to cover my growth in the business, to make my business more efficient and effective. A portion of that is for training. I've learned that industry-specific training goes a long way to making the business more successful. I've allocated a good portion of that for training. Was that the one? Thank you for the opportunity.
Ray, tell us how you're going to get customers.
I'm going to eat a lot of my own dog food. With that, videos, I've said video is an important part of marketing a business, so I plan to use a lot of the same video on social media. The videos that I'm talking about, the 15 to 30 second videos, are well suited for Facebook and LinkedIn. I will be using that. In addition, speaking opportunities to talk to people about how they can incorporate video into their business. I think that's a good leverage point for attracting customers.
On your pricing, are you gonna do by finished product or by the hour?
At the two smaller level products, they're pretty much defined prices. The pricing is for a group of 3 videos, set price, because it's easier to make a commitment for a customer to show them over time. Using the videos, they'll do well. For the longer form video, I do have an introductory price where I can complete a project at a set cost. But because there are a lot of variables in video, I can also price by half day and full day shoots.
You mentioned that it's traditionally been something primarily available to larger organizations. What are the alternatives for smaller entrepreneurs, smaller organizations, startups, entrepreneurs? Who's your competition?
This is one of the competitions. Everybody has a smartphone, right? The differentiator for me, not everybody can use the smartphone effectively to deliver a professional video. So I can go beyond what people may do on their own in terms of capturing the video, editing the video, and processing it in a way that it represents a company well. At a price point that's comparable, that is comparable. You have to pay for the service, but it's far cheaper than going to a traditional documentary filmmaker to actually build a about us video for the company.
Something that I typically talk with business owners about is when you're asking someone to spend money, how will you lower the risk that you're a no-brainer in regards to the person that they should select to do the work? So my question to you is, how will you demonstrate your capability in regards to the video?
I have some portfolio projects that demonstrate the ability, my ability in terms of producing a completed project. Not for all price points, but at some of the offerings, I have the ability to give them a sample or a taste in order to gain confidence around my ability to deliver it. I'm looking for a longer term commitment from some of the businesses so I can do things from a pricing that would give them enough confidence that I'll be able to deliver it for long term.
So does that, I noticed you got a button on your website, but is that a real video there?
On my website, yeah, there are several.
I'm saying at the top, at the very top, I noticed there was a button. I went to the URL. Is that a button for the video to play?
There are videos that will play on the website if you're looking at that website.
So your revenue projection is around $55,000 per year. Is that capped because of your time commitment? Is it full-time? That's where you're capped at?
Part of it, and I may mention that the estimates were fairly conservative. This play really is a sales play. Someone asked earlier about where do you see your opportunities for growth? I think that's my potential opportunity. It is a somewhat challenging sale because there is a certain level of education around getting customers to latch on to video. Stats are good, but not every customer may see the need for it. I'm a sales pessimist. Some of them come naturally to me, so I literally have said, I know I can do this, and put in what I know. And I find that I can do a whole lot more, and as a result, the revenues would be much higher. I could see this growing very quickly. The numbers I put into my projection spreadsheets are fairly modest, talking about single-digit sales in some categories in some months. This is a no-brainer at some level, but I still have been in business. I know I actually have to deliver, so that's why the revenue forecast is small. If I get more personal confidence, I expect higher results.
Ray quoted some great numbers earlier about the effect of video on sales and time spent on the website and that kind of stuff. Where do those numbers come from? Those industry standard numbers?
Yeah, these are from a variety of sources. HubSpot, Neil Patel does a lot on website conversion. My regular job is web design, so a lot of that insight of the research comes from people I look at in the industry to provide that content. But it's a lot of marketing data that's out there. Forbes produces some standards. There's a company called WiseOwl that does a lot specifically around video and video consumption that provided some of the background that I used in developing the plan.
Thank you very much.
business launch challenger is Stephanie Draper. And I'm going to guess here that she doesn't have enough samples for us to
They're empty, sorry.
during your flight.
Did you know that you are made up of 10 times more alien cells than you are human cells? I'm Stephanie Draper, certified health coach and wellness educator. You have trillions of bacteria in and on your body, called the microbiome. Most of them are in your digestive system. Your gut influences just about every process your body performs. So when your good bacteria get overrun by your bad bacteria, problems ensue. 80% of your immune system is in your gut. Therefore, most disease begins in your gut. Over half of all adult Americans have at least one chronic disease. What we eat directly affects our microbiome. So we need to feed the body the good bacteria called probiotics. This is crucial to us reversing chronic disease. The solution? Sift. A new generation of health beverage. Sift is made with green tea and honey and is a rich, bubbly, sweet treat with none of the vinegar of kombucha, which is made with black tea and sugar. It's delicious, sparkling honey mead, essentially. People who won't touch kombucha love Sift. This proprietary beverage will fill a gap in the beverage market, offering a desirable alternative to those wanting to quit soda, lose weight, or just simply enjoy a night out with friends with an alternative. It will revolutionize the beverage world. The beverage market has been greatly impacted by the kombucha beverage boom. Soda sales continue to decline year after year, while kombucha sales have increased greatly, 41% in 2016 alone, and have a projection of 25% growth per year through 2025, $2.4 billion from 534. Sift has only one known direct competitor. This is Wild Tonic. They've been in business only 3 years and are in 47 states today. We are currently interviewing local kitchens to find the best fit for production and distribution. Our projected launch date is January of 2019. We are looking at retailers such as coffee shops, local health stores, yoga studios, and we have 3 commitments at this time waiting on their first delivery, as well as many people anxious to buy their first bottle. After the first year, we will expand into local cafes, ballparks, grocery stores, and more. Our production needs include brewing equipment, kegs and bottling supplies, and kegerators for retail locations. Once production begins and we have established ourselves in the local market, we will focus on scaling up towards the next level of production. Total startup costs for equipment, marketing, and operations are over $37,000, and this is conservative. This will begin production and secure my place in the market. Revenue will be generated the first year, and all profits will be reinvested towards growth and expansion. I am looking at $25,000 as a grant request, and this will help solidify myself in the local market, as well as it will all go toward operating expenses, and this will help me scale up to meet local demands, which we expect to be great. Our vision is to create a nationally recognized company without sacrificing any of the quality and homemade goodness of Sift. I'm extremely passionate about this aspect, and I will not compromise. Our business plan will lay the foundations to support this growth, quality, and expansion. This idea has been brewing for 2 years. It never wavered. My passion has never wavered, because the need is great and people just simply love it. The Small Business Center has given me the platform and the structure to take this from an idea to a reality on the shelves of retailers. My husband, Adam Draper, is a local attorney and will be SIP's Secretary Treasurer as well as legal counsel. His valued leadership is a great asset for SIPT. The testimonies of SIPT drinkers have been astounding, with 9 out of 10 want more. One woman has even claimed she can have gluten again. This is huge, and the entire reason I'm developing this company for the people. Become a part of the new generation of health beverage. It will change lives and revolutionize how we enjoy food.
With the current landscape of wellness as it stands in the United States, in the world, and the country, why would I want SIP over any other green tea that's out there now? For example, I use the Ballerina tea. I don't know if many people are familiar with that, but it's like a detox tea. I use that a lot, and it's relatively inexpensive. Like 20 bags for like $4.50 within the health food store. So why would I want to use this over any of the other products out there? Because of course we're in a very health conscious society now. People are trying to eat right, do better, and all of that. Give me another sip.
So this obviously will be in conjunction with a healthy lifestyle, exercise, etc. Something like just green tea is going to give you antioxidants and all sorts of other benefits like B vitamins. The key here is the healing of the gut. With SIPT, it gives you probiotics, and without probiotics, the good bacteria, you cannot defeat the bad bacteria. With this beverage, it tastes good, so more people will drink it. And then you're going to heal the gut in the process, which allows the body to move forward in its own detoxification, whether you have green tea or not.
Any blind spots discovered during this process of the launch challenge at the Small Business Center? And if so, how are you going to address them?
I wouldn't say I had any blind spots, but I have quite a few challenges, if that's what you're getting at. It must be refrigerated to deliver, so finding the ability to distribute, keeping it refrigerated, especially at the beginning, is why the grant money is so important. It will allow me a better avenues of developing refrigerated delivery systems to the local market. That's the biggest one.
From a marketing standpoint, I usually tell clients that you want to enter the conversation that's going on in your prospect scan. Nobody's going to bed at night saying, I need to improve my gut health. They are saying, I wish I could eat gluten. I think you're missing a huge opportunity by not leading with that. What are your thoughts? How big is that?
I have one acronym, FDA. There's only so many things I can claim. So education is huge with me. I'm passionate about it as a health coach. That's a big part of my business, is I want to educate the people and help them understand why things like this are important in their diet. Not according to the FDA.
The question I had, sorry, the question I had, I don't remember seeing any financial projections about this.
Right. Looking right now, the financial projections are looking good. It's been difficult because of getting a kitchen space and having the specifics, as well as I'm going to get started in a small kitchen, just a shared kitchen space. That will allow me production on a very small level. Having the grant funds will give me the ability to move to this large step of the next scale up. But we're looking good to have a break even at the early part of the second year. So,
you talked about the competition, the one that you found recently. What is it? That drink?
Wild Tonic. Yes.
And did you tell us how much that's grown in the last 3 years?
Wild Tonic went from 0 to 47 states in 3 years. Thanks.
Steph, we talked about it. Are you still going to explore contract packer, or do you really want to do this all yourself?
I absolutely would love to just create the product and pour my whole heart in that and have someone else do the packing and distributing. So it is absolutely on the list. Getting the product to a level of production that will allow for a contract packer to be the next step is where I'm at in phase 1 of the Launch Challenge era.
I noticed that this is a fermentation product. Is there an alcohol issue?
Alcohol is going to need to be regulated, but the product is below the 0.5 legal limit. So it will be monitored, but it is not an alcoholic product.
I see that you're only requesting the 25 out of the 37 that you needed. What's going to give, or what are you going to do as far as the gap?
So with the revenue that we will get in the first year, that will cover the difference there. We're going to roll that back in, and it will help build that difference so that we are solvent to move forward in the next steps.
We have one more. Mic check, 1, 2, 1, 2. Okay, we've got one more challenger, and we really want to bring this flight in on time, so I'd like to bring Carolyn Milliron to the mic.
Good afternoon. My name is Carolyn Milliron. I'm CEO of Keystone Safety Services. Uh-oh, we're not working. Can you help me now?
Yeah.
Can we start all over? Can we start all over again?
Ladies and gentlemen, we're having. You're good to go. Okay. You have clearance.
Yeah, I'll tell y'all who I am again. Hi, my name is Carolyn Miller, and I'm with Keystone Safety Services. We are a company that creates and manages and provides safety for commercial and industrial contractors. We have, myself and all the folks that have gone along with me have decades of experience. We've been there, we've done that, we've seen a lot of stuff that you don't want to see and contractors don't want to see. And we have a good deal of expertise. I actually have somebody on board that actually teaches OSHA instruction. So as we go through, all this horsepower is going to be helpful for us. Let me tell you what we do, but I want to start with why we do what we do. Imagine, if you will, you're a highway contractor, and you're the person who puts up guardrail. Well, you might be the best guardrail putter-upper there is in 3 states. But what do you know about how much a safety plan is going to help you? We address all of those things through a wonderful safety program. These are the questions contractors always ask me. Well, save me money, keep my people safe, make sure I'm compliant and able to get work. With a good safety plan, you can make those things happen. And besides, it's regulated, so why not have the best there is? If you don't have a good safety program, you will get an OSHA fine. Right now in North Carolina, an OSHA fine average is $12,500. Okay, you get a second, you do it again, it's called willful, turns into $129,000. Now we're talking money. That would put me out of business. I don't know about you. Pretty sure most of the contractors I work with would really hurt for that. What we do is we work for the contractor in these 3 areas. We consult, we recruit, and we train. We can do turnkey packages, or we can do a selection of services based on what they need. I will say that safety is a very precise business. It is a very serious business, and we take it very seriously. We're looking after people's lives here, for goodness sakes. We don't want to be the one that knocks on somebody's door after work and say, we're loving one is not coming home. So on the consulting side, it's about 60% of our revenue. And I've listed a few things that we do here, but we're going to do this what the contractor needs rather than what we're trying to sell them. to recruit and train. If they need a safety professional, we can provide that service for them. We can also train in any safety topic. What makes us different from other companies? We try to find out very seriously what a construction company needs rather than what we want to give them. We're not a hammer looking for a nail or a nail looking for a hammer, whichever way that may go. We're very customized, so it fits the company. Can't say enough about this, how the Small Business Center has helped us. It has laid the foundation. Of course, I got to talk in building terms. This has laid the foundation through all the classes, the events, the system, the grind. The pillars, the thing that holds it all together, the networking and the focus have been invaluable. The piece, the keystone that holds it all together for me has been the mentors. Thank you so much for telling me to focus, 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 focus. They have to say a lot. And for me, the mortar for this is the competition. Now, who doesn't like a competition? I mean, I hang out with contractors all day, for God's sakes. So anyhow, here's going on to financials. We're pretty excited about this. Our first year revenue, we're looking at about $129,000. And we're going to go up, measured approach over a 5-year span of time. And at 5 years, we should be pretty sustainable at close to $4 million gross revenue. Based on the projections that we have, our break-even will be the 4th quarter of the 2nd year. On the grant funds, Keystone Environmental Health and Safety Services is asking for $40,000 in grant funds. Right now, we're in the startup process. We're going out, we're starting to talk to contractors. We're starting to get a little recognition and putting a lot of systems and procedures into place so it can be repeatable. So the immediate needs for us, big, huge need, is joining associations, being part of their conventions, being part of the trade shows. Talking to one contractor at a time, I can talk to 100 at a time. And we'll have to do a lot of free minutes doing some things. Our 3-year economic impact is we're going to touch directly about 200 companies. And we've created a 5-year plan. These next steps, you can see our first year is very conservative, but we're going to build from that. So, what kind of questions do you have for me?
I'll be simple. What's in the name?
Keystones, the piece that holds everything together.
Right.
Sorry. Oh, I'm sorry. Most everybody tells me to be quiet.
So you're only targeting to contractors?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, so most companies, you know, they've been around for a few years and they may already have safety. So what are you going to provide to them that's going to be like, okay, even though you already have this stuff, mine can help you more. How are you going to benefit them?
A lot of times I run into contractors that have a lot of people on staff and they have appointed somebody as the safety guy. Well, that doesn't necessarily make it the best deal. And we can actually do it for them at a lesser cost than they can do it for themselves. And we have folks with us that have deep, deep credentials and a lot of experience. So we can do it for them cheaper and we do it for them better. And then they don't have the conflict within their company of who doesn't want to touch this hot potato. So it helps them on a lot of counts. Right now I'm working with a contractor and we're talking with them about a contract. They've got 75 employees. They've got by this far without a safety director. Wow.
Based on those numbers and the looking 5 years out, about just under $4 million in annual revenue, and you mentioning that you're working with people who train the trainers, is there going to be is it going to be primarily service driven, or are you going to have a product that you can put out on the market that will help those trainers?
It's going to be mostly service, but a lot of folks, including myself, have a lot of experience in curriculum development and making sure that we get visual standards. So who knows, maybe we'll get an opportunity to do some of those things. We have a lot of ideas of how to do things, but we got to this year getting started.
The $4 million is primarily the service.
Yes, primarily service.
Did you give us a start date?
We started up officially mid-October.
Could you take a second to describe how cooperative OSHA and contractors tend to work together?
Well, let's see, how do I do this? Sometimes it's a conflict. Some people are already mad before the OSHA person gets there, and sometimes the OSHA person has opinions before they get there. However, the people that we work with, that I'm going to be working with, have so much experience in this. They know a lot of the OSHA inspectors, and they know exactly what the inspector is looking for, so we can eliminate a whole lot of conflict there. Does that come close? Okay.
Your expenses looked like they were very low, but yet you're asking for $40,000 to get into trade organizations? Go back one more.
First 2 years, I'm going to lose about $90,000.
Right, so
And I feel it's worth the hit because of what's coming. The revenue that we'll generate, this is going to be gross profit, but I'll have at least 12 people on board by this time, and you'll have a lot of revenue.
what's your service area?
Well, we're going to start in the Triad, but I've already had an appointment with somebody in Charlotte, and got a contractor that wants me to come and talk to his 25 subcontractors in Columbia. So, wherever we can go.
Could you tell me again what you hope to use the grant money for?
Yeah, we need to join associations. There are about 6 different associations that are very specific to our industry. There'll be like HVAC contractors, or there'll be subcontractors that do highway work, or there'll be general contractors that do hospital work. So they're very specific. They all have a membership, and they all charge you to go to their conventions. And if you want to speak, well, then you got to go.
If there was a need, just because there's been a lot of talk, there's always a lot of talk, there's increased talk about a lot of extra infrastructure spending. If there were a need, would you be able to ramp this train up faster than what the projections should?
Most of the folks let me answer it this way. Most of the folks that are working with me, everybody that does safety that I know in the construction industry, kind of like firefighters, they all have a side gig. So several of them can do some things, but the quicker I can bring them all full time, the quicker we can
Okay, so that ends our presentations. At this point, the judges are going to go deliberate. And
We had some wonderful presentations this afternoon. I hope you're as excited as I am about the Launch Challenge program. It's a great program. Like I said earlier, if you know anybody who's interested in participating in the program, the application is on our website and it's available through the end of this year. And we're going to have a new session that starts on February 1st. So, I bet you want to know what the results are, right? How about next week? Let's get back to you next week. How about that? No, just kidding. Anyway, all 6 of our finalists did an outstanding job. Thank you. Is that for me? No, that was for them. Of course it was for them. So, we have a 3-way tie for 4th, 5th, and 6th place. I mean, that was just wonderful. And we couldn't make a distinction between those 3. So I'd like for you to stand and be celebrated as we acknowledge you. So Chrissy, Jackie, and Stephanie, great job, all 3 of you. And let me say this because I forgot to say it and I was just told I need to make sure to say it. The plan is for you to get an email this week from me. I have to do something. I have to go internally and get approval to give the specific amount of the grant that you all will receive. That's true for all finalists. Okay? And it's more than a couple bucks. But we'll see what the $10. Just save that for later. So, third place is Ray Mitchell. And second place is Carolyn. That means Holly is our first place. Thank you all very much. Let me challenge all of you. I saw some of you have tagged some of us on social media. Thanks for doing that. I want you to, whatever works for you, social media or in person, otherwise, let people know about the Launch Challenge program. What did I tell y'all to say to Nell earlier? Did y'all say?
We did.
Okay, good. I got you. I also want to thank Angela Wilder for being a wonderful MC. And with that, I'd like for you all to come and congratulate all of our finalists who are all winners and all starting wonderful businesses. Thank you all very much.